All right, we're gonna check the sound. Make sure we sound look good. We'll be right on. What are you trying to say? Write it down. All right, we're gonna check the audio, make sure we're good, and we'll get started. I hope you guys are doing well tonight. I am so excited for this show. So, oh god, I've been waiting for this one since Bailey was on our writers round at Live Oak. Man, I don't even remember 6-7 months ago or so. Everything look good? Sound good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
You gotta tell me what you're trying to tell me.
No, I think we're good.
You're like freaking out right before we're on. I'm like, dude, hold on.
No, we're good. We're good.
You're awesome. All right. Hello and welcome everyone to season 6 of the Gaining Fast on Memphis podcast, a place where we connect memories to melodies. I'm your host, Aaron Shriver.
And I'm your co-host, Jillian Shriver.
Our mission tonight is to provide a platform for motivated singer-songwriters, passionate fans, or someone who's making a difference in and around the music community. We hope everyone listening leaves inspired with a positive outlook and begins connecting their own memories and melodies. Tonight we are presented by our good friends at Arlo Revolution Cinematic Wedding Films, music videos and promos. Find them at arlorevolution.com. And One Tree Planted. For every $1,000 of the show, we plant a tree with one tree planted. Download the show today on your favorite podcast app. And then Poddecks. Poddecks are the hottest tool to get your next great interview, unique interview questions in the palm of your hand. We get to see them play a little factor in the show later on. I'm kind of excited for that one. And then our on-screen sponsors tonight, Art on a Higher Wire by Joel, original and custom artwork inspired by your life moments, treasured photos and memories. And Shed Services. At Shed Services, we offer a full range of maintenance services depending on your needs. Find them at shedservices.com. If you are looking for ways to support or sponsor Gaining Fast on Memphis, then please head over to our Patreon page. Tiers start at just $1. If Patreon is something you can't do at this time, the next best way to support the show is always to like, share, review, and subscribe anywhere you can find us. Remember, join us live every Monday night. Tonight's a little, we pushed Monday night back because Bailey actually got to play Whiskey Jam on Monday. So, you know what? Hell yeah.
I was like talking to myself. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. So that's why we pushed this back to a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, remember, you can join us live every Monday, 7 p.m. Central on Facebook and YouTube, where you can interact with the show, ask questions, or join in on live chat with your favorite guests. Remember to visit our website, gainingfastonmemphis.com, for concert reviews, photos, playlists, links, and more. You ready?
Let's do this.
I'm ready for this one. Tonight, we're going to welcome on Bailey James for episode 137. Bailey combines her country roots with a little soul and rock and roll. Bailey is one of Nashville's hardest working ladies, and she's a huge part in spreading mental health awareness too, which we're going to dig deep into tonight, I'm sure. But tonight, we are honored to discuss the melodies and memories that make up her journey. We're going to go ahead and welcome Bailey on.
Hello.
Hello.
There you are. How are you doing?
Oh my gosh. I was sitting here and my dad's over there and he started listening to the podcast on full blast and he thought everyone could hear him. So he's like trying to like shuffle it, find the volume button. It's like, please don't let me on right now.
That's kind of what I was doing.
That was kind of like what happened here too. So
I was hearing an echo and I was like, oh my God, something's unmuted.
We heard that. We heard your little whispers and I was like,
did you hear me go, something's unmuted? And I realized I was unmuted, so everybody heard me.
Well, we always like to share pictures, so we'll have to share this picture to start off with.
Come look at this. Come look at this picture they shared.
We like to share pictures on the journey.
Lighter.
So
you look about 100 pounds lighter. Come in the frame.
Oh, look at that. He's been working on the beard too. I love it. Yeah, we like to show pictures to show the journey while we chat for the night. But Bailey, I am so excited to have you on tonight. Welcome to the show. You blew us away when you were on our writers round, and we were just ever since that day, I'm like, dude, we got to have her on the show. Amazing. And I'm so glad we're finally here.
I love that writers round. That's actually one of my favorites that I've been able to play this year. I got to have the boys with me.
Yep.
At Adam's a diva, but it was a lot of fun.
We'll have to have you out again sometime because those are fun. I think starting in 2023, we're gonna do them a little bit more often too. So.
Yeah.
So I love that. But we like to start this week or this show off every week the same way, and we'd like to know your first taste of music, man. Like, what was your parents listening to when you're growing up? And then we like to take that into your first concert experience too.
Yeah, my first musical experience. I remember hearing my dad, he would sing Johnny Cash in the car and he wouldn't even put it on the radio. He would just sing it by himself. And he would sing Walk the Line and Folsom Prison Blues on my way to ballet lessons when I was like 6. Didn't know who Johnny Cash was, but I loved the songs. And so I would sing along with them. And that was kind of my first taste of music that I really enjoyed. I loved Amazing Grace. That was one of my absolute favorite songs. And then as I got older, I started to listen to Patsy Cline, and I heard Crazy, and I was like, oh my gosh, like my brain exploded in that moment. And I knew I wanted to make music that made people feel something, because I was 11 at the time, but I still knew exactly what she was trying to say through her lyrics. And as I got older, you know, Dad introduced me to Slipknot and Nirvana and
All right,
Metallica.
Dad.
Yeah, he loves rock. My mom loves Bruce Springsteen. So I love songwriters. Bruce is a huge songwriter, and that's her hall pass. So
I love that.
I just got this wide kind of range of music. I listen to everything.
That was kind of like me growing up. My dad was always the Aerosmith and just bring me up on the rock. My mom's over here, Patsy Cline, Vince Gill, and I'm
My
like,
mom
all
loves
right.
Vince Gill too.
But I love it. I love even listening to your music because you do so well, just bringing the two genres together and mash them. Like I said, I was blown away. But just you have that rock vibe, but that country soul feel to you too. I love that. When did you? Well, actually, before we move on, your first concert experience. What was your first concert? Do you have a good memory from it?
First concert was Taylor Swift.
Hell
It was Taylor Swift, the Fearless tour, and during that tour, she would come down. It was in Philly, and touch like people's hands in the crowd. She touched my hand. We had a picture of it. We don't anymore, but it was just magical for me. Taylor Swift was so big at that time.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like out of my mind on a sugar high on cotton candy and being like,
Dude, I remember seeing that tour. Julie and I were supposed to go to that tour, and she had to work that night. And she's a nurse, so like her work schedule is really sporadic at times. And so she got called into work, and I had no one to go to see Taylor Swift, the Fearless tour with. And I look over at my dad, who's probably at the time 60s. I'm like, hey, you want to go see Taylor Swift?
You know, I mean, that's badass that you're a nurse. Thank you for what you do.
And then she used to come out in the crowd, and she'd put a microphone like all the way in the way back and sing a song. She put the microphone right next to my dad's seat.
Oh my God.
This is awesome. I'm like, how did you get so lucky? My dad's like, this is pretty cool. So
Taylor, yeah.
it was a
Taylor
cool father-son
Swift
bonding moment at Taylor Swift. So
I think we took my dad too. And Taylor was actually mad because Dad was the only person sitting in the crowd. And she gave him this death glare.
Yeah.
But even Dad had to appreciate that a little bit, because I mean she was just a performer. It's not even a concert. That's a show, man. That's a whole performance. So when did you start writing? Because you're young now, but did you start at a really young age writing? And if you did, what things were coming out of you at that age?
So I came to Nashville for the first time when I was 11, and I had brought an EP of me singing Italian opera, because I'm operatically trained. No one knows that.
Wow.
But that's how I learned how to use my voice. And people always ask, like, you have such a big range. I got it from doing opera. Opera singers are like so technically correct. And my coach was a world-renowned opera singer. And if I got something wrong, she had no problem telling me it. So she was very technical. But it had Italian opera. It had Crazy by Patsy Cline, Blue by Leanne Rimes. Oh my gosh, I love that picture. You guys are like bringing me down memory lane. And I took it to everyone I could in Nashville. You know, I knocked on the record label's doors, and of course they said no. I did the old Nashville try.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where I was going with that story. What was your question?
When did you start writing?
We're talking about when you started writing and
Yeah.
everything. And
So I met writers, and I had no stories at that point. I mean, I was in middle school, just starting middle school. And I just kind of wrote about middle school. If you listen to my first EP, that's what you're going to hear is Love, and Texas Swing is one of my favorite songs off of my first EP. Just corny little country tunes. I didn't really start writing by myself till I was 16, and I started, getting that teenage depression and feeling angsty, and I was drinking all the time and doing things I shouldn't have been doing. But that's when I started writing, because I was finally feeling grown-up emotions, and I could write them on my own. And I hated writing with other people. It's still not my favorite thing.
Now, when you first started writing, I mean, it was used as a way to express yourself, but did you want people to hear it at first, or was that kind of just for you to kind of just get your thoughts on paper?
No, I didn't want anyone to hear it. Actually, I used to write music and hide it from my parents, and they would find it in my room. And then you're like, oh, that's a really good song. And then as I got older, they were like, that song actually sucked, but we were just trying to cheer you on.
We were being supportive.
Yeah.
No, I love that, because especially at a young age, I love at a young age asking people, because some people just want to get their feelings on paper, and that's it. 'Cause they have all these emotions, all these feelings come in, but they just don't want no one to hear it. And it's a lot of it's music. You just kind of keep that bottled up until it's time to release it. And a lot of people compare it to kids in a way. Like, you gotta grow up the kids, and it's time to send them out on their own.
It was difficult for me because I was shown the Nashville way of writing, which is getting in a room with other writers, and you have to do A, B, and C to make a song, but that's not how I write. And as I finally learned how to write on my own, I was like, wait, I actually really like writing. It's not like me sitting in a room falling asleep, because I've done that. I've fallen asleep when I was writing.
Oh yeah, definitely. You got to be, dude. Hey, I know how it is. And honestly, we'll probably talk about it later on. Well, we're going to talk about it later on the show. If you suffer from any kind of mental health stuff, that's draining at times. It's very draining, and it's very easy when you kind of get like, all right, I'm not feeling this, or this vibe ain't for me. It's very easy to drift off at times, and I know how that works. What finally made you make the move from Pennsylvania to Nashville? Say, this is it. I'm doing it. I'm going now.
Well, my team at the time felt like you had to be in Nashville to make country music. And being the newbies we were like, okay, that's fine. And my parents, they wanted me to chase my dream. And so that was really the reason we moved. And it was a big culture shock. I remember about a month after we moved, I went to high school here, and I was like, ew. I don't like these Southern people. No, I'm kidding. But it was a hard.
It's a shock. It's a change from Pennsylvania to Nashville. I mean, all my family grew up in West Virginia, so not too far outside of Pennsylvania.
Not too far.
Yeah, but they're more on they were more on the Pittsburgh side. But I could see how it could be almost a culture shock in a way. Just kind of you're used to one way.
It was, and everyone was like, "You're very very intimidating and very loud and very opinionated." And I'm like, I'm from Philly. Like, what do you expect? This is how we all are.
Mm-hmm.
We annoy other people.
Right? Did you feel being that young in Nashville was kind of, I don't know, not because you feel like gritting your teeth in Nashville, everybody's like, oh, I'm playing the honky tonks, I'm playing the bars. But at that age, you weren't able to play those good honky tonks and bars at first. So do you feel like that was kind of like maybe a downfall, like to push you away, or were you still just find your own way to grind?
I just hated the fact that I would see so many talented artists. I mean, I worked with guys like Nolan Neal, who was on AGT, and he was on The Voice, and he had done all these amazing things, but he wasn't country, so Nashville pushed him out. And he wasn't this, so Nashville pushed him out. And I started to see that, and I was like, oh, this kind of sucks. Like, I hate the business side of it. I didn't realize the business side of it. And when I moved here, I finally got a taste of that. And that was depressing for a bit. And I had to kind of regroup and figure out what I wanted to do. And my parents finally, wow, that is a TBT pick.
That's a way back when.
My forehead looks huge. That's my first pick in Tennessee.
The way back when.
Yeah, I just had to figure out my own lane, because I wasn't going to do it like they wanted me to do it.
So we had
clear.
We had a guest a couple weeks ago. I forgot who it was on the show. I mean, they were 19 or 20 years old, and they wanted to move to Nashville, but they were like, no, I'm going to wait one more year because I can't do anything in there anyway. So if there was a kid that was 19, 20 right now, getting ready to move to Nashville, but wanted to wait a year, what would you tell him to do? Would you tell him to wait, or would you tell him to come?
I would tell them to come, because the sooner you figure out the business side of things, the easier it is to push through and do your own thing. And they ask me all the time, what do you say to like new artists? I guess because they look at me now, I've been in the business for 10 years, so I feel like an old person. I tell them to find something different and do something cool and put a spin on it, because I hear the same thing a lot on radio, and the people who become legendary are the people who push the limits and make something that excites people and is new.
I love that.
So true.
Yeah, so true. So you were a golden ticket alum for 2019 American Idol. Tell me a little bit about your American Idol experience. Would you do it again if you had to?
Yes,
I've
of
had a
course.
couple buddies that are on The Voice. That's why I always like to ask about it, because I mean, I always hear mixed feelings about it.
You know what? At the time, after it all ended, I swore I would never do another reality TV show again. But here I am. I would do it again. It was an amazing experience, and getting to stand in front of Luke and Katie and Lionel, and I was on such an adrenaline high. I was like, but just them telling me, they were the first people to tell me, you have country roots, but your roots are really blues and soul. That's where your voice sits, is what Lionel and Katie told me. And Luke gave me a no, which broke my heart, because like I used to listen to his Rain song. I had a fear of rain when I was a child. Very strange story.
Did you have animosity against him after that?
I did. I couldn't listen to him for a year on the radio because I loved him as a kid. Like, he saved me from my rain fear, and he told me no, but I see now why he did. And he said, "You're not ready." And I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready, Luke. I'm barely 16, but I'm ready. I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, he saw it. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that he saw it in you, and he made you work harder. And honestly, talking about working harder, dude, I don't know anybody that's put out, dude. When you're one of the hardest working, especially with your age, 19 singles. You're what? How old? 19 right now?
I'm 19. Yeah.
19 singles. You're only 19 years old, dude. That's like, honestly, nobody is working as hard as you are right now. But your EP that came out, just so much stuff, and then you just announced another single coming out here in what is it, August 19th or something.
Yeah, I'm actually playing that song tonight, I think, for the first time on any show for you guys. So.
We are so excited for that. Definitely, man. Because when I saw that, and so your EP, you reached a 6-year tenure in Nashville, all released since turning 12 years old. It's just amazing stuff that you have been pulling off and doing. I want to talk about a little bit about your podcast that you're doing. Are you still doing your mental health podcast too?
I am. Sometimes I just take a month or 2 or 3 off.
You got to. You got to. And the reason I want to talk about it is I have my ups and downs too. I've talked about a lot of this on the show. I'm dealing with a lot of stuff right now. I actually just got put on some new meds 2 days ago because of it. And it's hard, but for someone so young, how did you get involved with a lot of this stuff and start the podcast? What made you finally want to kind of come out and say, hey, this is who I am?
Well, again, on the business side of things, I remember I've always had anxiety to the point where I had to be put on meds too. And I love meds. Meds are a beautiful thing. And if they're right for you, I say go for it. I'm on Zoloft, and it makes me a happy girl. But I remember multiple people telling me, you can't talk about your mental health. You cannot talk about your mental health. People need to think that you are happy all the time and you're this and you're that. And I think there's this stigma around mental health when you talk about it, that it makes you crazy or it makes you unstable. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. And I lost my brother to suicide when he was 18. And that really took a toll on my family. My dad started drinking, now a recovered alcoholic for almost 3 years.
Amazing. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Amazing.
I was making all this music while I was going through trauma after trauma after trauma. And last year I finally it all hit me. I think I had finally got out of that traumatized mindset, but now I was feeling all the emotions. And I went through a really, really dark time last year. I was really, really depressed when finally Free came out. And I just told them, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it. I'm done hiding it. I'm done hiding my struggles. If I can help somebody else, if I can tell my brother's story and help somebody else, that's all that matters. And eventually we turned it into a podcast because I know so many artists and so many musicians who are actually, every artist I know has something going on. Because
I think that's what makes them an artist in a way.
Yes, creative people have creative minds. We're always thinking, as you saw, like yeah, I can barely get out my words while I'm speaking because there's so much going on.
Well, so we kind of laughed because the intro that you sent over today, not many people send over the intro. Like we will normally just record it beforehand. And I said because she's making sure everything, all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed, and I'm the same way. Like I go through things and I see things. I'm like, I'm gonna get this done now. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna be on top of it. And I like that. I like that about you too. I was like, all right, cool. She's on top of everything.
Funny. I got diagnosed with OCD last year. My dad has OCD too, and in the same way you do. I have it in the way where it's like very repetitive thoughts. But I just wanted to make sure I got everything.
I'm sure you could tell by the show notes I sent over too.
I was like, this is extensive. He puts in the work.
I'm an overthinker. I got ADD really bad, ADHD real bad. But here recently, I've been going through a lot of midlife stuff. I just turned 40, and I think about the next 40, you know, and how I want to do it better than the first 40, and that's what's really I've been dealing with like the last week or so a lot. So like this show really to be able to talk to you tonight, it was kind of cool because it fell in at the perfect time when I was looking at that. So I love listening to you, and I love having a platform to be able to talk about it because I feel like that's what we need is more people talking about it, more people coming forward, and more people saying, hey, we're not crazy. This is really what we have. Because for me, it's more is there's so much going on in my head. I can't turn it off. And like, I can't relax. Like I got to stay busy all the time. Because the minute I slow down, I get in my head and I don't like it. I'm sure you know how that goes.
I remember, well, for me, it's either I want to stay busy or I want to lay in my bed and do nothing and just like escape. And I remember, it's funny you say, like, I want to turn it off. I walked into the doctor when I was really, really going through it. And I was like, do you have anything that will just like turn my brain off? Because I can't handle it anymore. And now I look back and I've gone to therapy. I've done EMDR, kind of tried to get through some of my traumas. And I'm very happy, as weird as it sounds, to have gone through everything I've gone through and just experienced really hard moments, because I think I can come to people with a perspective on trauma and on life, on depression, anxiety. I've dealt with it all to help them.
Yeah. We need more people like that too. Like I said, because we're not all crazy here. So I mean,
that's why I love Jelly Roll, because Jelly Roll's very open. He's bipolar and he's very open about that. And he was the last concert I went to. I was telling them we were at the Ryman and everyone was smoking. Everyone was smoking pot in the Ryman. I'm getting a contact high. I'm not smoking, but I'm getting high. But he's so open about his struggles and still being depressed after all the success he's had. And
that's why even I think he might have been in your round. I'm not too sure when you played ours. Still Matthews, he opens for Jelly a lot, and he's really open and talks a lot about his own problems too. And that's what I love about the guy, because not many guys come forward and talk about it, because then everybody looks at guys like, you're supposed to be the tough one. What the hell, dude?
There is a stigma around that. Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to be tough. And I know I put it on my Facebook the other day that it's getting tougher to be tough, and that's just how I feel at times lately, because I've been tough for so long. It's like, all right, how much longer do I have to stay being tough, because it sucks at times.
Well, if it makes you feel better, this big woolly bearded man over here, he has no problem crying now. Age has softened him. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, I'm right there, man. I'm right there with you, buddy.
He's like, really? But it's good, Dad. It's good that you can cry. Like,
sometimes you just gotta let it out, man. I mean, I try. We got 2 young kids. I try not to let the kids see their dad vulnerable at times, but sometimes it happens. I explain it to them, and just let them know. Now, what would you tell somebody if there's somebody that was with somebody that didn't have anxiety, didn't know anything about anxiety? What would you tell them how to deal with it, or how to deal with that person?
I would tell them to be patient with that person. I know for me, when I've been in relationships, I tend to be very impulsive because my emotions are so strong all the time. And so like, I have a habit of like getting really mad and being like, let's break up. And then a second later, I'm like, wait, no, I'm sorry. I love you. And like, just really be patient with that person and try to understand that your brains are different. They have a chemical imbalance, and you don't, be patient.
I love that. I definitely love that because that's probably when you're having a panic attack and someone doesn't know how to handle it. Being patient is number one, I think, because if you start freaking out too, it's just gonna be
Yes.
all nasty.
I always when I'm anxious, I remember I used to go to my mom and be like, Mom, I'm anxious. And she's like, well, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, don't say that. You're making it worse. Just don't speak to me. Just sit there.
That's Jillian now. She'll be like grabbing sour candy, grabbing this. Like, what do we do? I'm like, I don't know.
It grounds you. I
Yeah.
have really bad depersonalization sometimes, and yeah, it helps.
Yeah, mine's just. I think mine now is just thinking with the kids, they're growing fast, and I'm getting older, and I don't like where things are going. I wish I was going back in age, not up in age. But I love that. Before we move on, what does the rest of 2022 look like for you? You got a new single coming out. What else you got on the horizon for you?
I have some really exciting things that I can't talk about yet, but I will be able to talk about soon.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully going to be headed to LA for a few things.
Nice.
Oh my God, me and Ryan Upchurch.
I love that one. Let me go back to that one. I was living through, but I love that one.
I met him at a gas station, the only gas station in Cheatham County. I went pee, and it was a weird bathroom. It was like an outhouse bathroom. And I remember peeking out, and I went, Dad, that's Ryan Upchurch. And he was like, well, go up to him, you weirdo.
Oh, yeah.
He went up
That's
to
me.
him.
If they're not eating or with their family, I'm gonna go up and be like, "Yo, what's up, dude? Pleasure to meet you."
He pulled up in this really expensive sports car, and I was like, oh, I was a little intimidated.
I love that. Well, we're gonna move on to our Powered by Poddex, our sponsored section tonight. Earlier tonight, I pulled a couple cards out. The first one is, what are 3 things that you do for your mental health on a daily basis to keep it in check?
Well, I take a bunch of vitamins, actually. I take vitamin D, moringa. My mom she's a hippie. She grows her own food and stuff. She's that kind of hippie. So I definitely do some holistic stuff. I meditate a lot. I love crystals. What else do I do? I exercise, running.
You're ready to start exercising and meditating. I need to work on
Yes. I'm telling you, meditating is going to be really difficult for you at first, especially because your mind's always going. But once you kind of start to do it again and again, it retrains your mind to kind of be okay with the silence and sit there in the silence.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you said that, because I was nervous to even try it. I'm like, how do I turn my mind off to meditate? I'm like, it's the hardest thing in the world.
It's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard.
Yes.
You just have to keep doing it. Like, don't do it for 2 minutes and be like, okay, I'm done. Right? You gotta.
That's true.
Give it a chance.
I love it. So this next one, I saw this next one pull up. I'm like, I gotta ask her this one, because you seem like somewhat of an old soul, anyways. And I was kind of curious, if you could only listen to music from one decade, which decade would you choose?
I would choose the 50s.
Ooh, okay.
I would choose the 50s. I love oldies. Me and my grandma will sit around when I'm back in PA and listen to like Elvis and Motown classics, old country classics. And I just kind of see her like light up, like she's young again, especially when I play One Night by Elvis. She's like, oh my God, I could die.
That is awesome. All right, our next segment, we're going to do 4 songs. We're going to play about 5 seconds of the song. Their first memory you get with that song, we'll talk about for a brief second. Go ahead and play that first one.
Okay.
Does he think of you? Does he think of you?
So Reba, Does He Love You? When you hear Reba, Does He Love You, where do you go with that song?
I'm not gonna lie, I never listened to Reba.
No, really? I thought you were.
I never listened to Reba. What do you guys have a memory to that?
No, I was going with an old school Reba feel, because I thought maybe you had some Reba on you.
I sadly don't. I do love her outfit.
You know what I think it was? I think you were wearing a Reba McEntire shirt one time in a picture. Maybe I saw. I don't know.
That couldn't be me.
No. Okay, I saw something Reba. I thought, I'm like, I'm gonna throw some Reba in there on her, but maybe not. Let's go ahead and try this next one. Try the green one. Let's see if you.
Okay, let's see.
See if this one works.
Spring, your voice is soft like summer
Any
rain,
Dolly
and I
connections?
cannot compete with you.
I recently,
Jolene Dolly.
yeah, I recently went to Dollywood actually. So
Nice.
I went there last year for what was it, like a songwriting festival, and me and my dad went on, what is that thing? It's on my keychain. I have a picture of us like all the way over the mountains. It was a sky cart, but I was scared
Oh.
because I was scared we were gonna fall. That's my
I
memory.
love that. All right, well then let's throw it way back. This is gonna be the last country one. The next one I think we'll definitely have a connection with. Go ahead and play Yellow real quick. Some Patsy Cline, Fall to Pieces. Do you have any memories with that song when you hear it? Does it take you anywhere?
Yeah, all of my grandparents loved Patsy Cline, actually. Besides the point, but this memory is coming up. My dad's parents met at a blind date at a Johnny Cash concert.
Yes, I love that. My parents, right before they had me, right before I think about,
She was pregnant with you.
yeah, she's pregnant with me. They went and saw Waylon. And I'm like, man, I wish.
Oh my god! My mom saw me No, who did you see when? George Jones. She saw George Jones.
Oh,
that's cool.
That's a good one right there too.
That's cool.
I was doing
All right.
little somersaults
in her belly.
I think you'll like this.
I went to
next
quite
one.
a few concerts very pregnant too. I remember.
Oh yeah, you did. Didn't you I think you went and saw Stained pregnant, and that was kind of.
I went to a lot of. He hauled me around, and I was huge. People felt bad for me. Put it that way.
Go ahead, green one.
No.
Piece of My Heart, Janis Joplin, man. When you hear that song, where does it take you?
Probably Woodstock. I remember seeing her first performance there. Was it Ball and Chain? And what was their name? Who sang All the Leaves of All the Yeah, they were in the crowd, and they were staring at her in amazement. She's definitely one of my biggest inspirations. I love Janice, and I love Amy Winehouse, and for some reason those two go together for me because they love drinking and they can wail.
And weren't they both in the 26 Club? I think they're both in the 26 Club too, man. Those are two amazing artists that we lost way too soon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get you to play a song, we're gonna put you on our hot seat. So this is gonna be kind of like the last thing. 10 quick questions.
Okay.
First thing that comes to your head, just spit it out. The first vinyl, CD, or download you ever purchased. So first piece of music you ever purchased.
Black and Yellow by Wiz Khalifa.
Hell yeah, I love it. If you had an endless supply of something, what would it be?
Clothes.
Oh, all right. Who has the best pizza you ever had?
Best pizza. Anywhere on the Jersey Shore.
Ooh, okay. The strangest thing you ever seen in the middle of the road.
Strangest thing I've ever seen in the middle of the road. What are you pointing up at? Oh, the UFO! The UFO in Philly. Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what?
Yes, I love that, man. That might be the best one so far.
I kind of feel like we're gonna need a story after this.
Yeah,
though.
we might have to. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Oh, night owl.
Oh, hell yeah. What's one thing people buy you feel is a waste of money?
Healthy food.
Okay. What's a song you wish you wrote?
Back to Black by Amy Winehouse.
Hell yeah. What is the most important thing to carry with you at all times?
Eyelash glue.
Ooh, all right. I don't carry that, but I might have to look into that one day. What's your favorite microwavable food?
Oh. I've been on a weird bagel kick, so bagels right now.
Okay. And then the last one, you're getting ready to drop your 20th single that you've put out. What is still on your musical bucket list? What's something that you want to, is it number one? Is it a venue you want to play? What's something that you want to achieve to make you feel that you succeeded in music?
I definitely want to play the Grand Ole Opry. They're getting more open. They're getting more open with who they let on. Yep. As I said, I love Jelly. When they let Jelly on, I was like, okay, I have a shot.
Dude, I cried with him when they invited him to play.
Oh, it's just so beautiful because we actually we planned a mudding event, me and my parents, and he was supposed to play it. And I remember that day there was no one there. And we were like, it's Jelly Roll. And now he gets thousands of people. And it's just amazing how far he's come.
Yeah, and he's moving quick and blowing up. I love that guy. I love him to pieces, man. That's the way he does and what he's putting out. And he might have a top 20 song coming soon too. So that's pretty bad.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're gonna turn the stage over to you. My only thing is you got to introduce the song and tell us a little bit about it before you sing it. All right.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back after the song.
This is called I Don't Need Ya. This is my newest single out. I wrote this with Mr. Nolan Neal, who passed recently. And the day that we wrote this, I was I don't even think I was 16 yet. I was 15, walked in wearing a Pink Floyd shirt, was just ranting to him because Nolan was always like a dad to me. And ranting about how all my friends were getting high in high school and I was going through a breakup with a guy I don't care about. And we wrote the song, which you will hear all of that in it, and it's called I Don't Need You. Comes out August 19th. Thank you. Just thought I'd call you up and let you know I found your old Pink Floyd shirt you were looking for the day you left. Boxed it up with the stones and then left it lying outside on the porch. If you want it, you can have it. Just don't think that when you call I'm gonna answer anymore. Cause I put a record on, drop the needle on a goodbye song. I don't need you. Don't wanna smoke you out of my head. Cause right now I don't need you, no, I don't need you, I don't need you, no. Space is what you wanted, well now you got it, babe. A million light years couldn't be far enough away from you. You should take that box and move somewhere I don't have to see your face. If you want it, you can have it. Just don't think that when you call I'm gonna answer anymore. Cause I put a record on, drop the needle on a goodbye song. I don't need you. Don't wanna smoke you out of my head. Cause right now I don't need you. No, I don't need you. I don't need you. No. Hey, just thought I'd call you up and let you know I found your old Pink Floyd shirt you were looking for the day you left. Boxed it up with the stones and then left it lying outside on the porch.
I love it, dude.
Thank you. And don't be like hot, literally
Yeah.
falling over my eyes, and I was like, "Can someone help me?"
I love your songwriting, man. I can totally tell your mom was a boss, man. Like that's where you got the writing from, because like it's just the in depth and like you tell a story, dude. You tell a story with a song, and not many people can do that these days. Now they just throw words together, but I love how you take us on a journey.
Well, Nolan, he wrote with me a lot back then, and he was the reason I really started writing more in depth. I remember meeting him, and I was like, I want to be like him when I grow up, because he just was so talented and so effortlessly talented. and he showed me all his best secrets. So
I love that.
Very
Love
cool.
that. Love that. Well, Bailey, thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight.
Thank
We
you.
had a blast. I know you want to run, and there's a big show in Nashville tonight. I'm excited for. I wish I was down in
I'll
Nashville
send
tonight.
y'all videos. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yes, we wish we were
We're
there.
between Chicago and Milwaukee, but believe me, if I could be down there tonight, I would, because I know
Yep.
there's gonna be some treats in store.
Oh, my parents are like, please be careful. Like,
I'm surprised Dad ain't going with, man.
no, I have quite a few. Everyone at Winners and Losers, I know all the bouncers there because half of my friends live with them. Like, Nashville is just one big pool of people that I know. So. Oh, I can't hear y'all. I lost y'all. Oh.
How
Are you
about?
back? Yeah, I can hear you now.
Sorry, that was on us, and I can't believe it just now happened.
We
Well,
made it
I'm
through the
glad
whole
it did.
show.
So the last 2 nights we've been having some issues, and I'm like, man, tonight better go flawless, and it went all the way to the very end. So I love it.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
But no, thank you for everything, Bailey. And honestly, when next time we're down in Nashville, we'll have to hook up again and hang out, because you're just an amazing soul, and I just cannot wait to see where your career goes from here.
Thank you. I
So-
promise I'll send y'all, but I'm going to take videos.
Hell
Yes,
yeah!
yes.
We'll be watching for your story tonight. Don't worry.
Thank you
All right, you have a
guys.
great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, if you are in Nashville, make sure you head down to Winners and Losers right now. It probably already started, but Hardy's doing a Hicks tape takeover down there, Whiskey Jam, and Morgan Wallen will be in the house. I have been hearing, so be kind of cool. I wish I was down there for that. It's gonna be wild, man. Dude, was she badass?
She's fantastic.
She
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
awesome, man.
Yeah, she's great.
And so, dude, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
she's so young,
She's got such
dude.
a long career ahead of her.
Oh my God, she's gonna be huge. I can't wait
Mhm.
to see what happens with Bailey. I mean, if you guys have not heard that name, check her out now, because I don't want to hear 10 years from now and be like, damn, this girl's awesome. But yeah, dude, she was on the podcast 10 years ago. Come on. Because you guys are gonna be coming back and telling me how badass Bailey James is. I'm telling you, it's just amazing. If you were lucky enough to see her at our round a few months back, she blew everybody away, man. It was just a hell of a good performance. So guys, man, what a night, and what a run, man. We just did what,
It's been a long week.
3 shows in 4 nights, I think we pulled
Mhm.
off. Had a great one with Daryl Worley last night. Great
Jay
one with Bailey
Allen was-
James. Jay Allen is uploaded and ready to go. We will get the other 2 uploaded here next week and the week after. So, because we will have a show on Monday, and then we take about 3 weeks off, which would be kind of nice. not gonna lie.
Well, the
But
kids are
we'll
going to
see.
go back to school.
Yes, we are
and
taking some back to school time off.
so.
And to see what happens and be excited. But we are very, very lucky and very, very thankful tonight to be able to hang out with Bailey James on episode 137. This girl is dangerous. Like I said, she has an amazing career ahead of her, and being just so passionate about all this she loves will take her very far. We want to wish Bailey nothing but the best. Can't wait to see what she accomplishes in 2022, man. Don't forget to catch up on everything you missed from tonight and past episodes over at gainingfastonmemphis.com. And we will see you Monday night with another amazing show.
Have a good weekend.
The Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver is brought to you by Arlo Revolution. As we close the book on another chapter, remember, music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Next week, Aaron connects more melodies and memories with other fans and the artists they love. Thanks for being a part of this musical journey, and we'll see you next time on the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver.